Hey everyone, it's Andrew Finney with King Realty Group here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'm trying something completely new. We're obviously in a completely different backdrop than what you've seen previously. So in addition to trying something new today, which is the new headset with a new microphone, same thing that Dave Ramsey uses, by the way, I have what's called a Rodecaster on the side over here. It's supposed to help me with my audio quality and making better videos. Being that I'm just learning how to do this, I was wondering what you're thinking about it and how the audio sounds to you so I know how to dial it in better. So if you want to hit me up in the chat or leave a comment after the fact, just let me know. I'm just trying something completely different. The studio in my home office here is being changed out. You can see back here the Vari desk. It's called a Vari desk over here. It goes up and down and streamlines the process, gives me more work area and everything. So that being said, coming up behind me will be all new stuff coming up. So you'll be seeing new backdrops and you'll be seeing a lot of different things moving forward as I continue to evolve. So I guess I was kind of nerd excited today to come on real quick, just for a few minutes, maybe just see how it goes, hang out with you for a bit and share my nerdy excitement with you over this Rodecaster thing and the new headset. So how does it sound to you guys, the sound quality right now? Let me know. Priyank Gosai says, simplifying, thank you for your videos. Thank you, my friend. Greatly appreciate you joining in on this live stream as I am in a spot of evolution. Now, if you're in a spot of evolution too, tell me in the comments, tell me in the chat, what are you evolving right now and how are you evolving and what are you looking forward to doing next? Claudia Alexa says, hello, Andrew. Hello, Claudia. Thank you for joining in, my friend. It's always great to see you in the live chat with me. Priyank says, you have been very helpful in my new construction build. Thank you, Priyank. I'm glad I'm able to help you. I'm actually meeting up with another really wonderful young couple tomorrow to go over to a couple of new home communities, and we're taking a look at that stuff tomorrow. Super excited for them. They're super excited too. They just got their loan pre-approval letter, and they're like, Andrew, we got so many questions. I said, we're all good. I got a full list of questions, and I'll educate you on that and how that process looks, and we'll figure out what you want to do after we meet up with the new home agents. By the way, I do see a thumbs up. Thank you for that. Always appreciate your support. YouTube algorithm does love those thumbs up and those comments, not only in chat, but after the fact. So if you're just tuning in, thank you for joining in. And if you're here with me live, go ahead and throw those thumbs up, please, so that we can make the YouTube gods happy and help our channel and our tribe grow. Nina says, hello, Andrew. Sounds great. Thank you so much, Nina, for that. And now, other than that, I mean, what real estate questions are out there? Now that I got some of that nerdiness out there, you ever get so excited, by the way, that you just want to share it with somebody? And being that we're all in the same tribe, I get so excited about it. And like, I want you guys to know what I'm kind of working on behind the scenes. And it doesn't get any more behind the scenes except for maybe what it looks like over here behind these desks and all the cables I got running back there, but working on the a more functional home office / studio. So I'm excited to get this going, and we'll be getting it dialed in over the next week to a month or so. It just depends. You'll see the decorations changing in the background and seeing the changes in the future videos that are recorded, by the way. YL2K, getting ready to move to the Pacific Northwest and tour cities to buy in. Been in a long time coming, VA all the way. Hey, YL2K, I'm super excited for you getting ready to move over to the Pacific Northwest and touring the cities and everything. That's a lot of fun, and VA all the way, baby. There you go, and thank you for your service. Let us know how that turns out and what questions you have during your home buying process. Melanie Leek says, I'm waiting to buy my next house. I listen to your videos while painting and getting my old house ready for sale. I love your informative videos, by the way. Melanie, thanks so much for listening. And, you know, whether it's a podcast, and again, going back to this podcaster, well, it's actually called a Rode Podcaster. I got to keep remembering what it's called because I keep wanting to call it a podcaster. It's called a Rodecaster Pro Podcast Production Studio. And let me see if I can move this down and I kind of give you an idea of what the box looks like. So, I mean, it's not like a promo video or anything, but it looks like this. And it's pretty interesting because it was so much bigger than I thought it was. I thought it would just be a little bitty thing. And then whenever it came in, this great big box, I was like, oh my God, this thing is massive. I'm glad that I got enough desk space to host that thing. So when you're talking about listening to the videos, long story short, that's what I'm doing with this headset. Obviously, streaming, I learned a while ago, courtesy of a lot of you in our tribe, actually, that taught me that putting a headset on in a live stream is a very good idea for your sound and audio quality. And I was having another conversation with a gentleman that actually does podcasting, and this is what he suggested, in addition to what my friends over at Think Media said, is good to have to better level up your audio game. And since audio is so important, then I thought to myself, well, if we make these really wonderful videos and we start opening up the floor to more and more people that might want to join in on the live streams with me on camera or whatnot, then we could actually turn those into versions of podcasts. So, like Melanie, whenever you're painting your house, you could listen to other people come on, ask their questions, and have a dialogue. And with a better audio quality, ideally, you could listen to it anywhere that you want. I love the fact that you're watching the videos and hitting it up. And hopefully, you're able to hit the thumbs up while you're painting your house and making things happen. But I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate the support out there. Just pretty excited about it. So Priyank says, can you talk about building equity in new construction? I'm really debating on having the builder do my kitchen and master bath versus having Amish handmade cabinets for kitchen and bath. It's a really good point, Priyank. And it's one of the questions that comes up a lot in something that I was talking about with a young couple I'm meeting with tomorrow to buy a new construction home. So when you're talking about building equity in new construction, one of the best things that you could ever do if you're considering new construction is to buy early in the actual community. You notice that over the last several years, the prices of new construction would start at, let's say, like $400,000 at base. And then as they got ready to build out that community, maybe for the exact same model, it could actually be 450, 470,000 because they're upping the price every single model that sells or every pair of them that sell. So if you buy a new construction, you're going to have the downside of having all that construction going on around you, but you get the upside in realizing some pretty immediate equity in a very short amount of time. It doesn't always work that way, just to be honest, but it works that way a lot and enough that I would say, statistically speaking, that it's if that's your situation and it makes sense, awesome. Now, to the more critical points that you're making about having the builder do your kitchen and master bath versus an Amish handmade cabinet for kitchen and bath. Now, that Amish handmade cabinets and for your kitchen and bath, the moment I hear that, to be honest, Priyank, I'm thinking, oh my God, that sounds like it's gorgeous and freaking amazing. Now, when you're in the build phase and you're doing stuff with the builder in the kitchen and the master bathroom, generally you can actually pay a little bit of a higher price depending on the builder than you could do in renovation mode as a later on remodel. A lot of families that I work with new construction that purchase maybe higher end or middle level type of new construction home where there's let's just say robust options available. Normally, the smartest thing to do, or anything that is structural or electrical or plumbing to do with the house, those features, whenever you get into home ownership, cost a small fortune to do as a renovation or remodel later down the road. While things like your kitchen and your master bathroom can be done at your pace, at your taste, at your financial comfort as a remodel later on. So sometimes I've seen people even go in and just go as base as possible, except for the structural and the options that they want to put in for any additional plumbing. And like maybe here in Las Vegas, we like to barbecue, and I don't know if you do too. If you do, then let me know in the comments, and we'll go from there. I know I do. So where I'm going with that is having a gas stove plumbed into the outside wall so that you can cook and hook up your gas grill is really, really cool, so that you never have to go get those little drums all the time and carrying them back and forth, right? So something like that would be like maybe $175, $200 in new construction, whereas doing something like that after the fact is going to probably look a little bit ugly if they're running the gas pipe from wherever the gas is and they're running it into the backyard, right? Whereas they can run everything through the walls or through the attic space and then drop down the line and pop it out in new construction. That's an example of something that's ridiculously inexpensive in new construction, but in resale can be a lot more expensive. So it's a good, for instance, to try to play this off. You're saying, absolutely, I took all your advice on electrical and structural for perfect Priyank. I'm glad to hear that. You can always upgrade the floor later. You can choose your product, and oftentimes it probably costs a little bit less depending on how you play that out. So is true of the kitchen, just depending on what you envision with your kitchen. I renovated my own kitchen in my own personal residence. last year. Well, starting in last year, let's say it was like last November, and the project started, but it didn't finish until like February. It was freaking forever with a construction zone in a major part of the house. And I don't know who else has done that, where you live in a construction zone in your house and you're like, oh my God, I am so ready for this to be over. And you got to hashtag JTab and hang out and just be like, hey, got to take a step back. I know what I'm doing here. I know that this is going to be gorgeous, but my God, I'm trying not to go insane with all the dust everywhere. Uh, who else feels like that sometimes whenever you're going through that? But anyways, maybe I digress a little bit. You may have seen parts of my kitchen, by the way, in the reality shows that I did with the Hernandez family when I was doing the little side takes and stuff. And you probably see a little bit more about that in the future. Priyank, I noticed that you gave me $10 there, my friend. Thank you for that. I don't really come live stream to earn any kind of money like that or anything, just more or less hanging out. But of course, I appreciate your support. It helps pay for things like that Roadcaster over there and the new headset. So yeah, I mean, any donations like that are appreciated. But most of what I appreciate is just you joining in with me and hanging out with you and growing our tribe together with those thumbs up, those comments, those likes, and just being here with you and answering your questions and hanging loose. Virtual lunch, hey, you got it, buddy. Let me know. We'll go on one of those Zooms, right? Yeah. I saw somebody's Instagram the other day. I thought it was hysterical. And it was like lunch with so and so as a friend, and they were zooming the lunch. And I was like, hey, that's pretty cool. It's COVID safe right there, of course, and it's just a different way of hanging out. So, hey, yeah, let's set up a virtual lunch and we'll make that happen, my friend. I'd be happy to do that with you. Jay Z says, hi, Andrew. What is a conditional loan approval? We are supposed to close in a few weeks and just heard back from the loan officer today, 4 weeks after my documentation was submitted. Jay-Z, that's a good question. So conditional loan approval means just that. If you break it apart, what is the main word in conditional loan approval? Is it the word conditional or the word approval or kind of both? Well, in this case, it would be kind of both. Conditional means that it's conditional. It's a conditional approval based upon the information that you provided the loan officer. So in other words, when you gave them your last 2 years tax returns, 2 months of your bank statements, 1 month of your pay stubs, and they verified your employment, they said, okay, great. They took a look at everything at the time that you looked at it, issued you what's called a loan pre-approval letter, excuse me. So that would be like a conditional loan pre-approval letter prior to the file going to underwriting. And even then, whenever you do get to the underwriting, you can get what's called another conditional approval from the underwriter, because you'll have conditions that need to be satisfied and cleared prior to actually closing the property. Now, it's a common question, and you might be thinking this, and if you are, Jay-Z, let me know. But then sometimes you're thinking, hey, well, what would come up in underwriting if I've already given all the documentation the loan officer asked for? And it's a great question. So oftentimes they might just need to say, we need, since the last time that you applied for this loan, 2 months ago, a month ago, or whatever the case may be, we need to get a copy of your updated pay stub. We need to get a copy of your updated bank accounts, or if you had any funds coming into your account or out of your account that weren't exactly usual, then they'll need to validate that and see what happened there and just ask you to justify it. It's pretty simple stuff. Let's say that, well, we're in Vegas, so let's put the positive mojo out there. If you guys came to Vegas and went to a casino, you won some money. Let's say that you won $10,000 or something. You put it in your bank. It's not completely typical. The underwriters coming through your file with a fine-tuned code, they see that $10,000, like, oh my God, Jay-Z, where'd you get that $10,000? What's going on? And you'd be like, well, hey, I went to the casino, I won the money, I put the money in the bank. So then they'd ask you for like that little receipt that you get from the casino showing that your earnings, and you'd give that to them or explain to them what it was, and they'd be, okay, we're good to go now. And then the condition that they would have issued at that time just got cleared. So it's a lot of smaller stuff. I normally say it's a little bit nitpicky sometimes because it is very necessary part of the process, but it can be frustrating, just to be completely real with that. Jay-Z, you have a great video on what to upgrade after you buy a new construction home. We kept your suggestions in mind when we were choosing our upgrades. Thank you, Jay-Z. I'm glad that that video helped you. Probably make some more of those new construction videos in the future. Update everything, especially after I get, like I've shared with you guys about this Roadcaster. I put the link in the show more description in case you guys want to take a closer look at it. If anybody's out there thinking about starting a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever, I did put it out there so you can see it if you wanted to. But anyways, it's just one of those things. But I'm glad that those videos help. So where I was going with that is I probably update it as I improve what's going on. Part of the additional gear that I've been ordering and is actually not in my office right now, I haven't moved just for the purpose of safety, is on my video camera. I got a teleprompter. Now, over the years, people said, Andrew, you talk so fast. I'm like, well, in my mind, I don't, but I am only one person, so that's cool. And I want to make sure that I make the best videos I can for you guys and slow it down and also keep on point with what I'm trying to share with you guys to better educate and better help. So with that said, it'd be a lot easier anyways, I thought, with a teleprompter as opposed to just normally like my printout notes and I'm looking back and forth while I'm filming the video. So long story short, whenever I get all this stuff going over the next somewhere between the next 3 to 6 weeks, ideally, then hopefully you guys start seeing a big shift in the videos. The most recent mini series that I put out about buying a house sight unseen was with a different editor. The previous editor was really awesome, but unfortunately had some health concerns and stuff, and I certainly hope that he's doing well. But all the same, the different editor, different layers, different production value there, and always, of course, focusing on the content value. The content has been what has helped our tribe grow, and it's been the things that people tell me they appreciated the most. Despite some of the people saying, "Hey, quit jumping up and down in the camera," or "What the heck is that backdrop behind you?" and blah 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 blah. Well, last time I checked, if you don't have a few haters, then you ain't doing something right. So it lets me know I'm going the right direction. Gives me some criticism, even if it's a little bit harsh at times, and I just keep leveling up, getting 1% better at a time. And that's why I said, with what's going on and you're seeing something completely different right now, is just a process of evolution, process of growth, and process of improving. And if you guys feel the same way, then let me know, and let me know what you're improving on. And if you're just joining in again, thank you so much. I just want to hop on live, test the audio quality. Fortunately, Nina had shared with me that the audio quality sounds great. And that is really, really awesome to hear. I am super, super pumped, more than you know about that. Um, okay, John. John says, "Oh, cool. Dwight Schrute and real estate. You know what? How are you so sure that Dwight Schrute isn't mimicking me, John? That's just saying, just saying. How are you so sure he's not mimicking me?" So sometimes people say Chris O'Donnell, Matt Damon, what is the other one that Brad Pitt? I got that one before, and now Dwight Schrute. So I don't know. Maybe as I'm getting older, as I'm growing, or whatever, weight gain, weight loss, whatever, they're just like, "Hey, you look like this, you look like that." But I always think, how do you know they don't look like me? And just saying. Anyways, just a joke. Brad Pitt. Yeah. Okay. So, John, you got a good sense of humor, my friend. You're definitely part of our tribe. A good sense of humor is what it takes to make everything go. So that's cool. Miss Finance, it's good to hear from you, my friend. It's been a while. I've seen you in the comments here and there, and I know that you've been on the channel and watching the evolution and the growth for, I believe, since I got started, or pretty close thereafter. And back then, when I got started, I was just using my laptop and didn't know anything about making a video, but just had the passion to want to share and help people and help them make sense of real estate and just connect. And I just always remember your name is Finance, and really appreciate that you, just like Jay Z and Priyank, coming on here. And then we had Claudia, Alexa earlier, YL2K. So, I recognize your names from comments on different videos. I recognize your names from the chats. I recognize you whenever you guys are hanging out with me. And I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, Miss Finance says, yes, very, very long time. Your videos are great. Thank you, Miss Finance. I'm working on making them even better. And I'm excited that you're on this journey with me and watching the evolution take place. Of course, if anyone has any suggestions, let me know in the chat or in the comments, and anytime, about what you're thinking. Hopefully, speaking of, hopefully CS is with us. CS, if you're with us, let me know. CS was on the live stream last week. He was asking me a question about Curbio, and I wanted to let him know and follow back with him. So, CS, if you're watching this after the fact, just hit me up in the comment. Oh, there you are. CS says, I am here. So thanks for chiming in, my friend. It's good to see you. You were asking me about Curbio, and you were polite enough to send me the link as I requested. So I looked into that, and I got to be honest, I need to dig deeper because I was fairly intrigued with it, but I still So a lot of things make sense about what they're saying, but it's one of those things that sometimes it sounds so good. Can it realistically be true? And even though I'm clicking on their frequently asked questions, what's the catch? All that fun stuff, there's got to be something somewhere there because a business is in business to make money and earn money, right? So that's what I want to see is exactly how are they doing this? How are they pulling it off? And I figure I'd give them a call and see if I can get in touch with them and figure out how this process works, gain some insight. Because if it's true to form with what they say they're doing and they work in tandem with the real estate agent that you would be selecting to work with, or if they put you in touch with the realtor that they knew, whatever, however that works with them, then it's pretty cool because some people's homes that are really dated or but they have a lot of equity in the home because maybe they've been there for a minute. If they could update their home, get a better price for their home, the buyer's going to get a better home to purchase because it's all been updated and renovated. That's really, really cool. And if it's not costing the seller the money out of pocket, the one thing that I saw is that it had to be on the market until it sold, right? But at the same time, if that's the case, then that gives a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily have the money up front for the renovation, the opportunity to renovate, get a better price for their home when they're selling it. I think it's a win for the buyer in the extent that they get an upgraded home that's been updated. Everything's been brought to current code for any of the projects that were undertaken. So that's a really cool thing for home buyers. So I want to dig deeper into that. So I'm glad that you told me that you're here, CS, and I wanted to give you a progress update on that. Obviously, I've had a lot going on. Last week when we were streaming, I had my mammoth executive style desk, which I loved. It was a beautiful piece of furniture, but I need to level shift and I need to grow and I need to evolve and I need to redesign the workflow in the space, and that's what you're seeing in front of you now. So I want to come back with that, CS, if that's okay, and do some more digging. I want to chat with them and learn some more about how that works. You said thanks, Andrew. As you said, they probably get a cut. Oh, I'm sure they get a cut, my friend. I just want to know exactly how that works and how it translates to the seller because it's great for a buyer to get a renovated home with everything being brought up to code, but depending on how big that cut is that they may be receiving, they're claiming that they don't take a cut. That's where I'm saying that there's somewhere in there they're earning some money. Obviously, they wouldn't be doing it. So I want to dig deeper and have a conversation. It sounds really cool though, and I do want to come back to that because I am quite intrigued with that, and I appreciate you letting me know that and sharing that. I mean, that's how we learn. That's how we grow. We're always stronger and better together than we are not. And let's just keep doing that. That's how we grow, and that's why it's like no shame in the game over here with what I'm doing with learning and growing and playing out with this Roadcaster. I am completely enamored with that thing at the moment, trying to figure it out. Pretty simple, fortunately, in some ways, but it was just audio quality. So I'll be getting some different mics and stuff like that to make better videos. Hey, I got to tell you this, and this is kind of a secret, kind of embarrassing in a way. This is like what, video number 690, 691 or something in total. And in the close to 5 years I've been on YouTube making videos. Well, I learned as recently as like 7 to 10 days ago, there's a difference between what's called a condenser microphone and a dynamic microphone. And I've always been trying to figure out why sometimes my sound just picks up like everything around me. And other times, whenever I use a different microphone, it's more like one-on-one, what they call like a Carteret microphone. And essentially comes in the categories of condenser and dynamic. And I thought, how did I miss this detail about audio? I mean, I need to, God. So I told you it's kind of embarrassing. But anyways, now that I know the difference and now that I know what kind of microphones are doing better than others, I would envision, especially with this Roadcaster thing, of making a lot better videos with a lot crisper sound quality and really getting it dialed in moving into the future, not only for live streams, but for recorded videos. So I think that's pretty cool. And I just want to share that with you because I know sometimes other real estate agents, loan officers, and just people in general, like, hey, I want to make a video, or hey, I want to do a podcast or something like that, right? So I thought I'd share that with you and save you some trouble, and maybe it didn't take you video or podcast number 691 to figure that out. So whatever we can do to help each other learn and grow there. James says, in addition to new real estate videos, will you explore personal finance topics? James, if you would like that, I've been asking, and the reason that I make videos, of course, is to be here and help you. And I want to be full cycle, not only helping people make sense of real estate, but make sense of life, make sense of the situations that are important to you. And I was asked in some of the comments last week, and I've really been giving it a lot of thought of how to present that information and on personal development, my life experiences, how I got to be where I am, what have you. And if you want me to share information about finances and stuff like that too, yes, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know if you have any core niche topics on personal finance that you wanted to start out with, and I can get a game plan going into 2021 with the kind of videos that you guys would like to see me create moving forward. So that'd be great. But yeah, I'm absolutely happy to do that and share that information. Let's see. Priyank says, do you think we are crazy building a house right now? My main motivation to buy a house was because we are building family. Rents are going up and we have been saving to purchase a home before the pandemic. We were thinking of buying anyways. We have gained 28,000 in equity since we signed an agreement by builder raising the price, but I'm still nervous about crash. What are your thoughts? And so many want to take advantage of those low rates. Yeah, you're right. So that's a really good point, and it's one that I could go on very, very deep, very, very long, and it's one that I've done a lot of research on, preparing for a video that, frankly, I intended to have released before Thanksgiving, but it didn't work out that way. And then the way that stuff got ordered and started arriving threw off my video, recorded video format. So I've just been doing the live streams for the last 3 weeks, including today. But that being said, ultimately, there's a lot of people out there talking about what's going to happen in 2021 housing market. It's going to crash. It's going to go up. It's not going to do anything. Yes, no, maybe so, and not quite. And there's a lot of facts to look at of where the market's going to go, and my position on it may be quite a bit different than some of theirs. And some of their what they had shared that I listened to was pretty interesting, and some of it I just thought was complete hokum, and others I thought were a little bit more too kumbaya. It's definitely going to be a strong balance. It's definitely going to be a strong mix, and there's definitely going to be some shifting going on. At the same time, the best time to buy or sell a home is not by chasing the market. It's actually by finding out what the right time is in your life. Now, of course, all of us would want to buy low and then eventually sell high. But the reality of real estate in these United States is that the longer that you hold real estate, the historic average shows that you will gain 3% on average year over year. And since we all need a roof over our head, it's really a decision. Do we want to own that roof or do we want to rent that roof? The people that got hemmed up in 2008 in that collapse that held on to their home, a lot of them, as I was getting started in real estate in 2013, 2014, and that I'd worked with here in Vegas, had sold those homes at a profit. So it goes to show that even though it looked down in the dumps for a little bit, it went back up with time, and we all got to have a roof over our head. The last time I checked, so it's not about not making the step, but it's about making a well-informed step. It's about doing your research. It's about making sure the reasons that you want to buy are for the reasons that are important to you, and having clarity on that, and then moving forward with what you're comfortable with doing. At the end of the day, you should never buy or sell a home if you're not comfortable with the situation. If you are comfortable with the situation, cool, rock on, do what you do. But at the end of the day, the real estate market, like all markets, will go up, they'll go down, they'll go all around. So it's just a matter of pulling the trigger when the time is right for you in your life, whether it's buying a home or selling a home. Trying to chase two rabbits, you'll end up catching either. So you got to pick a rabbit and figure out which rabbit that you want to chase. Let's see. CS, thanks, Andrew. As you said, they probably get a, yep. Jay-Z, friends, don't forget to like this video. Thank you, Jay-Z, for that, by the way. So if you haven't given the thumbs up, please go ahead and do so now. Appreciate your support and appreciate you being here with me. Mohammed Yusuf says, we are looking to buy a house in Vegas. Do you recommend a mortgage company to work with? Mohammed Yusuf, if you're looking to buy a house in Vegas, get in touch and I'd be happy to help out and represent you guys here on your purchase. But as far as a mortgage company to get in touch with, yes, I do recommend working with Bill Marin with New American Funding. You can Google him, actually, just very easy, Bill Marin. Marin is spelled Merren. And the company that he works with is New American Funding. He and I have worked together. Let's see, I'm coming up on closing 190, I believe it is, over the last 7 years in real estate. And out of that, I'd probably say 120, 130 were probably home buyers. So of those numbers, well over 100 were with Bill Marin, including this house that I purchased and am living in now. I worked with him personally. So I highly, highly recommend him. He knows what he's doing. He's really good. And he'll shoot straight with you the same way that I shoot straight with clients. And, that it's really cool that way. Uh, Hope that helps, Mohammed. My contact information is down below if you want to get in touch. Trisha Biscuit, dude, you're awesome. Binging you through my pre-listing inspections on 220 square feet home built, I built in Pennsylvania 2003, cursing until throat punch stucco remediation for entire front and porch. Trisha, thank you so much. I appreciate your enthusiasm and your support, my friend. You get thumbs up back. And I'm glad that you're binge watching the videos from your pre-listing inspections and everything else. So if you have something that comes to mind that you would like to see, just let me know and I can get that. Oh, Mohammed says found him. Thank you. Yeah, you can actually see Mohammed on that. If you go on to the homepage of my channel and underneath the reality shows, you'll see the Real Estate The Untold Stories Season 2 with the Hernandez family. And it builds in the videos as it pertains to financing in there if you want to see him. And he's made several different videos with me, including live streams earlier this year if you want to check it out. Aldante Fact says, howdy from Austin, came across your channel in February 2020. Do you have anywhere posted for videos you're planning? I'm looking for more information on buying land for a vacation off-grid property. It's very interesting. So do I have anywhere posted for videos you're planning? No, I typically don't post in advance what I'm planning, but I do like to gain insight of what you would like to see me create. Hence the gentleman's last week sharing with me that they wanted to see some professional and personal development. Today, earlier in this stream, the gentleman asking for finance videos and stuff like that. So I'm happy to make that content. So, I mean, that's what I make this channel for. And that's how I think we're going to help our tribe grow and grow and grow, is to keep everybody engaged with the areas of life that we're in and where we are in our journey. And as long as we make it nice and relevant to real estate, to personal finance, to personal development, then depending on what it is that somebody is interested in, they can subscribe to a specific playlist on the channel, subscribe to the channel, of course, but you can actually subscribe to a specific playlist, tap the bell icon, which if you haven't tapped the bell icon, please do, because you get a notification every time I make a video, whether it's live stream or whatnot. And then you'll be able to join in and hang out with us when we're live, and you get the notification right away. To the point about the playlist, though, if you were specifically wanting to see content about personal finance, let's say, and or personal development, then you would be able to tap that bell, and anytime there was a new video posted in the playlist, you'd get an immediate notification on your phone if you tap the bell icon for those notifications. So it's helpful to know. But no, I haven't made a video about that, and I'll take a closer look at it. I'll Dante Facts. Appreciate it. Trisha Biscuit says, so getting estimates and considering as is sell, big sellers market here. What would you do, Andrew? I am in Bucks, Nebraska. Okay. As they sell, I'm not a fan. I would not be a fan of those whatsoever. I don't mean to dash any dreams or anything. People need to get realistic. What would I do? What would Andrew do? I love how you phrase that. So, Trisha, I wouldn't buy that property. I wouldn't buy a home as is unless I knew exactly what I was getting. And if something had checked out and I waived my home inspection contingency because I agreed to buy something as is, I'm not going to be cool with that. And I don't want to lose my earnest money deposit because, hello, we all work really hard for our money, and that's not cool to lose it because somebody else wanted to be crazy. So when you start looking at property, you got to balance it out to the realities of what it's going to take to fix a property if it needs that fix. And hence why CS shared Curbio with me and why I was so interested in Curbio, because it would be a good opportunity for the sellers to fix it if they didn't have the cash up front, renovate the property, bring it up to code, with whatever renovations they're doing. And then you as a home buyer would not have to have those big estimates or worry about as a sell turning sour on you. I realistically wouldn't buy that property unless you know what you're doing. Like the house that I bought now is essentially an as is sell, but hello, I'm in real estate. I know what I'm looking for, and I know how much it's going to cost to fix something and whether I have the appetite to do it or not. And I knew the reason why I wanted. I had crystal clear clarity, the same thing that I try to share with everybody about how to gain that when you're buying or selling a home. I had my list of what I wanted in a house, my list of what was most important to me, and why I wanted the specific house, and that's what I went with. And I've made a lot of renovations to it since then. Priyank is asking about where at in Pennsylvania, Tricia. Joe Rockstar says, your channel has been essential in keeping tabs on what my agent should be doing. Thanks a lot. Joe Rockstar, I'll have something coming for your agent and other agents across the United States here in a bit, in the not too distant future, in fact. Stay tuned for that. and hopefully it helps out and it helps level shift everybody's skills and including my own, and making. I'm definitely not saying I'm like God's gift of real estate or not, because good Lord knows I'm not. I'm learn and grow. I've made enough mistakes, and I just learn from my mistakes and get smarter from them. But hopefully we all do that. If we're not learning and growing, then hey, what are we doing, right? So that said, I'm glad that it's helping you out with you and your agent, keeping them to account. Yeah, it was one of the back thought processes when I created this channel, helping consumers, you, who's most important, why we even have an industry, know what to expect in a real estate transaction and what your agent should be doing for you. And when they don't do, then you know you either don't have the right agent to be working with, or you know that you should be asking them those questions at a minimum. So I hope that's helpful. So let's see. CS says, by the way, I'm selling my house next year and found out about your Untold Stories series with Counterback and Kelly and loved it. Super useful conversations about contractors and staging. Awesome, CS. I'm glad you found that. Kelly and Counterback actually found me on YouTube as well from the 20 questions to ask a listing agent. And yeah, he asked me all those questions. But they were so much fun to work with. And I was telling them at the time, as obviously part of the tribe, I said, you know, I'd really love to try to make a reality show. I've never done it before. I don't know anything about it, but I thought it'd be a good idea. So we put it together, and they fortunately they're just the kind of people, Kelly and Connor back, that would say, yeah, let's do it. And it'll be fun. And that's what we did. And then I did the best I could to learn and grow. And it's taught me a lot about video. And I continue learning and growing about video and everything up to this point, hence the new gear and new stuff that I've been planning. But since the mission takes money, then you know you just save, and then you invest, and then you save, and then you invest and reinvest into the business and reinvest in what you're doing at a sustainable pace. And this is where I'm at right now. They're coming up on the end of 2020, getting ready for hopefully a breath of fresh air in 2021 with things getting back on track, hopefully. And all of us being able to hopefully next summer be COVID free. Let's hope. Let's hope. And stay safe out there in between then now and then. But CS, thank you for that. I'm glad you found it. Glad you enjoyed it. James says, can you tell us more about your kitchen remodel? Why did it take so long? Is a remodel worth the cost? James, that's a good point. I'd have to show you the kitchen. I wanted something very, very specific. And I will tell you this. I mean, sometimes people hear the word custom and they freak out thinking, oh, custom must mean that it's ultra expensive. Well, when you're doing a kitchen remodel, it's going to be expensive either way. So the question it comes down to is what kind of finish do you want? What type of cabinets do you want? And price it out. When I priced out the cabinets on that I wanted and that I envisioned in that space of my house from Home Depot and Lowe's, they gave me quotes of like 50,000 to 55,000 respectively. And I was like, oh my God. I was thinking 55,000, you know, total cost for the kitchen renovation, not just for the freaking cabinets. And I was like, okay. So then I called my interior design later and said, hey, do you have that somebody that makes custom cabinets? What would they charge? So she had them come into the house and take the measurements and everything and took a look at it. And they ended up costing still pretty hefty, $35,000. But the way I looked at it, I was like, cool. So $35,000 for the cabinets. And that left me with the remainder of, you know, $25,000 right there for the rest of it. And then when you look at why it took so long, it was we had all those trade wars taking place at the end of 2019 and still up to current time. And it was really hot and heavy, if you remember back then what was going on. So where I'm going at, it was very, very difficult to get the lumber. It was very, very difficult to get some of the appliances. It was very, very difficult to even get some of the tile. So it was part of that process in addition to the actual demolition phase of it, of taking out what was old and what needed to come out. And when I do renovations, I always want to open up all the walls. So that was ripping everything down to the studs in that room. I wanted to change out all the plumbing, all the electrical, add and bring up the code everything that needed to happen. There was some problems with the floor that I didn't know about, obviously being covered with tile at the time. So it wasn't even. And it was kind of bizarre to me that what somebody had done at some point in this home's history. And I was like, well, let's rip all that out and let's do it correctly. So that's what ended up happening. And that's why it took so long. It was just these little things that kept adding up. And then you put it into the mix of what was happening in the United States with the trade wars and everything at the time. And you mix in with the holidays and everything. And that's kind of what it comes down to. So it was It just took a while, but it was well worth it at the end of the day. And he said, well, was the remodel cost worth it? Yeah. Yeah. It cost a small fortune, for sure, for Andrew dollars at least. And I mean, the money may not be a lot to some of you or some people, but to me, it was a lot of money. I stayed for several years to be able to do that project. But that being said, it turned out better than I even expected, and super, super excited about it. And the reason I say it was definitely worth it is not only from the personal enjoyment now that it's done and I'm living here. I have a long-term vision for this home, so that was part of it too. And if this needed to be my forever home, it technically could be. I don't think that it will be, but if it needed to be, it definitely could be. And especially with the renovations that I've done over the years of being here, then it worked out quite well in that regard. That said, the other reason why it was worth it, if you're wondering from a return on investment standpoint, is every single dollar I put into that kitchen, I promise you, I will be able to get 125% back on it. And that's because everything was custom. It's because everything was done legit. I kept off my receipts. And as I share with all of you in the videos about home ownership, if you've seen the video about homeowner journal, I have my own binders full of homeowner journals. So I got every receipt, every product, everything that went inside of that kitchen. So it shows that who did the work, what was done, what the product was, what the cost was, all that fun stuff, right? The point that I'm making about is it worth it is what sells a house? What are two of the things that sell the house the most, right? The kitchen and the bathrooms. Well, my kitchen is fully renovated and it's hard to find. And I don't live in a multi-million-dollar home, by the way. But the homes that I see at that price point, my kitchen I would definitely put in toe to toe on who's best kitchen, right? Hotornot.com, hot or not kitchens, or whatever you want to call it, right? Whose kitchen's hotter? I would definitely put my kitchen toe to toe to theirs and see what people thought. That being said, whenever you look at what sells those homes with kitchens and bathrooms and a maintenance of the home and the condition of the overall property, yeah, it definitely elevated my property's value substantially if I wanted to sell it. From an objective point of view, and watching numbers as I do as a professional full-time real estate agent here in Vegas, then yeah, I knew exactly what I would get out of it. But at the end of the day, it's about doing what renovations you're comfortable with, and the longer term vision that you have for a property is probably whenever you start thinking about the price and making sure that you save it ahead of time for the project. And normally it might come with a little bit of a bigger budget, obviously, if you're planning a potential forever home. So once it's done, and a dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow. So um, just saying. But anyways, I'd have to break that down a lot more. That's a whole conversation unto itself, James. But thank you for the question. Joe Rockstar says, Simplify brother, former Marine 0331, considering taking up real estate myself. Joe, let me know. Feel free to hit me up. Simplify Preyank says, Simplify Joe 0811, pull string, go boom. So for those of you who are watching and you're seeing the Simplify is Latin for Semper Fidelis. Actually, Semper Fidelis is Latin for always faithful, excuse me. And you're seeing Marine jargon and talking right here. Pretty fun. Party with the Artie. So yeah, you get to see some Marine jargon in the chat section right there between Joe and Preyank. So that's funny. Oh my God, you guys are funny. Simplify to both of you, by the way, and hoorah, right? Thank you for being here, guys. Appreciate my Marine brethren. It's so funny. I miss those days. Look Fat says, I see some of these renovated homes for sale, fix and flips, and many of them do not have permits. It feels like it could be lipstick on a pig. Sometimes it can be, and it's a good thing to gain clarity on and call a spade. Looks Fat. So definitely worth a question there. And if it does sometimes look like lipstick on a pig, it does happen. So if you see that, then it always begs the question in my professional brain as to, okay, great that you put lipstick on the pig, but what did you not address? What is the home maintenance part? What is the condition part? What is the age of the HVAC system? When was it last serviced? What is the age of the appliances? All these questions start running through my mind, and it actually causes me to look even more intensely and more scrutinizing of a property than I may have otherwise done. But anyways, I'm pretty scrutinizing anyways. But whenever I see that, then extra scrutinize and make sure the buyer that I'm representing in that case isn't hopefully getting sold a bill of goods that'll come back to bite them. When look Fat Pre-Yank says, can you share the cost range on the kitchen you did? Yes, the kitchen that I did, Pre-Yank, to answer your question, it totaled out at about 72,500 by the time I was done with it. Um, not the least of which was the granite, because it was an interesting granite, and granite itself was like 11,000, 12,000. And then the refrigerator I put in was a full size commercial grade refrigerator. So it's got the full size freezer, full size refrigerator that gets built into those custom cabinets I was telling you about. And that was like $8,000, $10,000 for that thing. So the actual, once you do the full renovation, you add up the appliances, you add up all that stuff, it adds up to a pretty penny. That's why I told you I was saving for a long time. A long time. So that being said, I thought it was pretty cool. So Look Fat says, when is affordability going to be cool again? Lots of laughs. Real estate prices are skyrocketing. Look, I think there's going to be some balancing taking place in 2021, and I need to get into motioning, put out that video. Sometimes, for some reason, I do get a little bit nervous when making prediction videos. I don't know why, but even as many videos as I've created, I get nervous before I go live. I get nervous before I make a video because all I want to do is try to get what's in here, and share openly and honestly with you, and align with what you're looking for, but also giving the truth and everything else and keeping it real. So that being said, there's definitely going to be some things coming down the range. It'll make a lot more sense. It is pretty deep to get into, and I will definitely be working on making it as simple as possible to understand and move forward with it. But affordability, I've been talking about housing affordability issues since 2017 and every year since then. Affordability is a very real issue. But that being said, I don't think that we'll see real estate necessarily skyrocketing next year, if you feel me. So we'll take a closer look at that in that video that hopefully I'll have out. Now I'm shooting for like maybe Christmas, but we'll get to work on that. Let's see. Pre-Yank says mortgage is so cheap, though. Yes, it is. It is extremely cheap. Jay-Z, when we want to do an outside kitchen for entertaining, super excited about that. Hey, Jay-Z, take some pictures or, let us know how that turns out. I'm pretty excited about that. That's like my last major renovation to do is my backyard, and I want one of those outside kitchens for entertaining too. I like having pool parties here with the clients, like my top clients here in Vegas. And top doesn't mean price range, by the way. It just means people I thought were freaking awesome, and it was great to work with them. And I call them my favorite, type of clients. And the last one that I had obviously wasn't the last year because of COVID, but in 2019, there's like 114 people there. It's like, oh my god, my house is only so big. But that being said, if I had an outdoor barbecue, it would have been pretty cool. But generally, I have those things catered, and we kick it and have a very good time together. But that said, the outdoor kitchen for entertaining, I just think that's genius. So let us know how that turns out. Pretty excited about that for you, Jay-Z. Trisha says, adapt, improvise, overcome, babe. You actually look a lot like my X0317, but way hotter and smarter. Thanks. Well, thank you. I feel really good, Trisha, making me feel good on our Friday. Right back at you, Trisha. Appreciate you. Pre-Yank Goes High says, my builder is offering Chef's Kitchen for $35,000, debating on including a mortgage versus coming out of pocket for custom handmade cabinet and also potentially losing builder warranty. Those are very good considerations for Yank. You've got to gain some clarity there on would you be happy in the long run with the Chef's Kitchen? But before we can really answer that question, what I'd ask you to go back to is ask yourself, how long do you intend to live in that house? And based upon that answer, then that would help you outline what you really want to do, whether you want to go with the builder's option at 35K, or if you want to hold off. And I believe earlier you're talking about like custom Amish cabinets and kitchens and stuff like that, right? Which one's going to make you happier for the time that you're going to be living in that property? Is it going to be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years? They're going to carry you out of room temperature. You feel me? Long term in that case. So, and hopefully very long. But at that time, when you gain that kind of clarity, then it lets you know what those options are and those renovations are that you might want to opt for in new construction that are going to be most important to you, and where you can reapply and refocus your hard-earned money to go where you want it to go, whether it was structural, plumbing, electrical, or actually saving up for the renovation that you want to do in the future. So gain some clarity on that one. Trisha says, but dude, I've got everything else done and done up front, and goodwill, transparency with multiple estimates reflected in discount. How you like me now? Boom. There you go, Trisha. Boom. Like it just fine. That's awesome. So look fat says 2021 correction versus crash. Uh, I see where you could potentially be going with that. Pre-Yank says, "Oh my God, I have to watch the video pictures of that video." Yeah, please do. It's in the. I started doing that. I don't know exactly when in the Real Estate The Untold Story season 2, but the buyer family, Adrian and Nicole Hernandez, super awesome people, by the way, super amazing, super positive mojo. Also found me on YouTube, by the way. That said, I want to say it was somewhere in the middle of their series or some kind of like video of 4 or 5 or 6, something like that. I started doing the side takes where I was changing out the clothes and, doing little side takes like question of the day, different little pro tip things built inside the video. So they're not really big segments, but they're here and there. I was shooting them at different areas around the house. Sometimes I was in the kitchen, sometimes I was in the family room, sometimes in the formal dining, formal living. Sometimes I was right here in the office with a different wall up in the backdrop. So yeah, take a look. Let me know what you think of it, and that'd be great. Look Fat says, love those before and after binders of home renos. Yeah. And if you could live anywhere in the USA, what are the things that you would use to decide what is a good location? Things like property tax, politics of the community. What else? Um, well, those are very substantial considerations. Look Fat, and those are very smart questions to be asking. You might want to add to the mix climate and average cost of living and economic health of the area. Those would be other great considerations, especially like natural disaster areas here in Nevada. I mean, we did have that earthquake that came over from Ridgecrest the other summer, and we felt it here. We definitely felt it. Remind me of when I was in California. You actually felt it. I was surprised. I didn't know what was going on. I actually thought maybe I was sitting here in the office working, of course, and I thought that maybe I was getting a little woozy and coming looking out the room over there, and I saw the light swing. I was like, "Oh, we're having an earthquake. That's fun." But it wasn't so fun for the people on Ridgecrest, and my heart pours out to them. Anybody that goes through natural disasters, it's really hard. That's why, and the link in the show my description, there's one to these different kits that I'm working on building. And if you think of something, let me know. I throw it on that. I pull it over from Amazon. I got set up on Amazon affiliate account recently. So if you want to see it, you want to support the channel, it doesn't cost you any extra, but you want to support the channel, you want to see it in a kit, let me know. I'll make this kit. Where I'm going with that is for the home ownership kit that I've been asked to do for quite some time. I actually have been working on that. Part of that is an emergency prep kit because we should all have an emergency prep kit in times of natural disaster, by the way. Far better to be prepared and not need it than need it and not be prepared. That being said, you need to gain clarity about a state that you could move into pre-yank set school. Yeah, especially if you have kids, and even if you don't have kids, it comes up pre-yank and look fat, and it definitely comes up. If people say, "Well, I don't have kids, why should I care about the school district?" Well, it's a good question. When school ratings aren't as good as other areas of the town, you're going to notice something very interesting with real estate prices. Typically, real estate prices are going to be higher in better school districts. Why is that? Because parents always want to be in the better school district for their kids' education. So, what does that mean to you, even if you don't have kids or you don't plan on having kids and your real estate value? That buying a house in a good school district is going to insulate your property value from any type of corrections and everything else in the real estate market, and also generally appreciate at a better rate than like in kind of areas that don't have the same high school ratings. So those are all very good considerations. Look, Fat, let us know what you choose to do and how you made the decision and where you chose to move. That'd be great to hear. Mohammed said, Mohammed Yusuf says, how's the school system in Vegas look like from your perspective? We looked into this and we are getting so many conflicting opinions. We have 3 kids and trying to do the best for them. We're moving from New England and schools here are quite good. Yeah, New England has some freaking amazing schools, Mohammed. And we do have some private schools, charter schools here in Vegas that may be on that same level or at least close to that level. Out here, just depending on whether you want to put your kids through private school or not and what your plans are, there are some areas that definitely have better school areas than others. I mean, if you went on my real estate website, andrewfinneyteam.com, if you're poking around looking at homes on every single listing, I've made the school's information available for the school ratings, courtesy of greatschools.org. So it helps keep things in perspective for people as they're looking at a specific home. They see that flashy picture, like, I love that house. And then, like, to your point, Mohammed, start diving a little bit deeper on it. What does school systems look like? then I like to try to put that all in the listing information on my real estate website, andrewfinneyteam.com, so that it makes it easier to have one-stop shopping and look into that. So my opinion of schools, it just depends on where you live. And obviously, where there's less expensive real estate in Las Vegas, generally, unfortunately, since property tax is one of those things that support the school system, then you won't always see the higher school ratings in those areas, which is awful. And I think that's part of what President-elect Biden and Vice President Harris are elect Harris are talking about now as well, with some of the disadvantageousness of, well, maybe it was disadvantageous that I used that word, but disadvantageous situations that people find themselves in, depending on where they live and the school ratings in those areas, compared to people that are more well-to-do that have better access to better schools. And it's a sad situation that it really starts that early in life for us. But at the end of the day, I guess I don't have kids, but if I did, I think that based upon what I've seen, if I could financially afford it, I'd probably put my kids through private school, I think, just because I'm very big on education. I take a lot of time to educate myself now and constantly learning and growing all kinds of stuff besides just real estate. So I think I'd want to obviously give my kid the best education as possible, but I'd have to really dive deep on that and interview the schools and see what their mantra and their thoughts are, and then also kind of weigh the pros and cons, because I think there's also something to be said for public schools because of the diversity of the school. I think it's very important that people appreciate the unity and diversity and respect the diversity, because that's what life is about. It's what it's really like. And I think that if people get those lessons earlier on in life, the better off they'll be and more well adjusted they can be in the future. As we all know, it comes down to far more than just a book smarts. It takes life smarts. And to be life smart, we got to understand that none of us are better than anyone else, and that we're all much more same than all much more the same than we are not. Comment that I've made in a lot of videos is, if I took a knife and cut myself, what am I going to bleed? I'm going to bleed red. If you do the same, what color would you bleed? Red. So therefore, our skin color doesn't matter, because we're all red on the inside. Therefore, we're all more alike than we are not. So people need to get over, all of those stupid things about racism and all the other crap. There ain't no place for any of that. We're all people, and we're all doing the best that we can, and we're all learning and growing, and we're all evolving, and we're all following our life journey. But that said, obviously, Muhammad, my thought goes in a lot of different ways when it comes down to school. And I think I look at it very holistically, from the overall education of your children, from both the education standpoint to the balancing of adjustment of and reality of the different diversity in an environment, and learning that from a young age. But let me know. Anyways, we could talk about that. I'm happy to get you more school information and send it to you, and just hit me up. Pre-access school will help with resale. Yes, it does. T's Corner Store says both of our kids are in private. Very blessed and grateful for that. Yes, T's. I, I, I hope that your kids realize how blessed they are to be in private school as well, and grateful to you and your sacrifices and hard work that you do to put them through private school. Pre-Yank says, but that private school fees are bank. Yes, they really are. That's why I said if I could financially afford it. And that's probably why Tease is saying that she's very blessed and grateful for that, for her kids' education. Look Fat says it's an amazing difference in price. What 300,000 in Colorado versus what 300,000 gets you in Tennessee? No kidding, including what 300,000 gets you here in Vegas, right? It's insane. T's Corner Store says, just got my appraisal back and also found out my loan was approved and out of underwriting. Been watching your videos. Yay! Congratulations, T's. Super excited for you, my friend. Get ready to close on your new home. That's what's coming next. And I'm super, super excited for you. And thank you for watching the videos. Let me know, by the way, what you'd like to watch next. That'd be great. I've been gathering suggestions about that, and definitely looking forward to creating that content moving forward. So let me know what you want to see next, Tease. That'd be great. Pre-Yank Gosai says, look Fat, you should see what you get in North New Jersey for $300,000. Yeah. What is that? A one-bedroom studio? Yeah. Look Fat says, do you have to disclose to sellers what appraisal comes in at? Example, if the appraisal comes in higher than sales price? Look, that's a really good question, and the answer is no. The only person's business of the appraisal is that of the lender and that of the buyer, and potentially that of the buyer agent. If your appraisal did come in high, that does not mean you go to Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and brag about your high appraisal, because that'll come back to bite you. But if you are in contract at the time, but if you get an appraisal that comes in, let's say that you're in contract for $400,000 and the appraisal comes in at $410,000, the lender's not going to disclose that to the listing agent or the seller because it's not disclosable to them. It's between you and the loan officer. The purpose of the appraisal is to ensure that the property value, the contract price rather, meets the property value, the realistic property value, also known as an appraised value in this case. And that's the only business of it. Whether it comes in high, no problem. Comes in at value, no problem. Comes in undervalue, problem, right? And I have videos about what to do in that situation, by the way. But if yours came in high, man, that's awesome. By the way, if you're just joining in, thank you so much. We've been streaming for about an hour. Probably going to pop off in a moment. I think somebody delivered one of my things I was expecting at the front door a few minutes ago. So I want to make sure that they did that. Hopefully, I didn't miss the delivery. But anyways, hey, real life streaming, right? Let's see. Awesome. I see you guys. Some of you are talking back and forth in comments. That is so amazing. I love seeing that kind of engagement. That is amazing. Um, Cool. So I tell you what, since we have been live for a bit, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and throw those thumbs up. If you come across the different videos on my channel and you think that it's going to benefit somebody you know, share that video on your social media, please. Let's please those YouTube gods so that we can go ahead and help our tribe grow. And the way we're going to do that is going as much watch time as you can, whether you're listening to it in the background, as Melanie was sharing with us earlier, while she was painting her house and getting it ready. You throw it on in the background. Maybe you're working, whatever. You throw it on in the background, listening to it here and there. Do what you do. Let's get that watch time up on our channel, and let's share out the videos with the ones. Of course, please share a video that's relevant to somebody that you know that you think would be helpful to them. That'd be great. And drop some comments in the comments below and let me know what you guys want to see. Anyways, we are rounding off 5 o'clock on the West Coast right now, 8 o'clock on the East Coast. I wanted to say thank you so much for hanging loose with me today, sharing in on the excitement of the Roadcaster Pro. And I hope that you guys enjoy a beautiful weekend. And I'm sure that we'll see you probably back in a live stream next week. And I'll let you know when the next recorded video will be coming out. It'll be sometime in the very near future. So anyways, everyone have a beautiful weekend. Please be the reason someone smiles, and we'll see you next time.